Hey, welcome back. A couple of weeks ago, the great and powerful Mr. Saki and his faithful assistant Paul Hibbert created a video where they built an alarm system using the Tuya Smart Life ecosystem. Now, while the overall idea was really cool, as a Home Assistant user, there were a couple of parts in there that made me cringe a little bit. I'm specifically talking about the part where he had a light that was only used in the alarm system, and when it was turned on, it would run an if this then that recipe, which would then reach out to a company called MK Zents, which would run a Bezos box routine, which would then finally turn on his Philips Hue or LifeX light or start his vacuum cleaner. So let's count those cloud and internet dependencies together, shall we? 1, his ISP. 2, Tuya's cloud. 3, if this then that. 4, MK Zents. 5, Amazon. And 6, LifeX, Philips Hue, or his vacuum cleaner's server. 6! Are you kidding me? 6 cloud dependencies for an alarm system. That is a huge number of potential points of failure and completely unacceptable in my opinion. But it did, however, give me a great idea for a video. So I was planning on making a video showing how easy it was going to be to build this entire alarm system using Home Assistant and get rid of any cloud dependencies. So I planned out my build, got a script together, and was about to start recording, and then this happened.
Having thoroughly enjoyed Home Assistant only 6 months previous, I had very little faith that I was actually going to be able to create exactly the same alarm system again within the Home Assistant platform.
Paul gave Home Assistant another shot and built his entire alarm system using Home Assistant and said how easy and awesome it was. However, he did mention a few things that I wanted to cover in today's video. First, the automations.
I mean, it wasn't easy to create all of those individual automations for a full-blown alarm system. It took ages.
And then secondly, the Bezos box routines and text-to-speech.
When you utter nerds told me that it would be easy to get my Home Assistant instance to convince my Amazon Echo to speak, did you actually mean I would need to be good friends with Rob from the hookup? Without Rob's help, I wouldn't have stood a chance to get Home Assistant to tell my Amazon Echo to speak, because it involved creating a binary sensor by typing some gibberish into the configuration.yaml text file so that I could then create a helper to trigger that gibberish.
First, I wanted to quickly show an easier way to get the lights into the state that you want them when your alarm gets triggered. We're going to be doing this using Home Assistant's built-in scenes functionality. And secondly, I'll be showing you how you can trigger those Bezos box routines directly from a Home Assistant automation without YAML files or any other gibberish, to quote Paul. So what we're going to be doing here is we're going to install the Home Assistant Community Store, or HACS, which is basically an unofficial app store for Home Assistant. And from there, we will then be installing the Alexa Media Player integration. Now, a fair word of warning. This is going to involve installing the SSH add-on in Home Assistant and running some seriously complex lines of code. So in order to do this, you will need to be quite skilled at a Linux terminal and be able to do advanced functions such as copy and paste. So if I haven't scared you guys away yet, let's get to it. Alright, so to start off with, I'm going to solve the first issue of the automations being too complex, and we're just going to use Home Assistant scenes for this functionality. So in order to get this started, we're just going to go to Configuration, Automations and Scenes, and we're going to create a scene. Name it whatever you want. And then we just pick which devices or entities we want included in the scene. So in this case, I'm going to pick my office computer light strip and my office floor lamp. Now, if you click on these, you can choose what setting you want them to be at when the scene gets triggered, and you will see them update in real time. So now that is red. Both my computer light strip and the light behind me are red. So now I'm just going to go ahead and save it. Now if we want to call this from something, we can just go back. It'll go back to the state that they were previously at before you created the scene. Then we're just going to hit automations, create a new automation. We can make the trigger be absolutely anything. This could be if your alarm gets triggered. But for this example, I'm just going to pick something random. I'm not actually going to have it be triggered. I'll trigger it manually. And for the action, we're just going to activate a scene. Pick your scene from the list, hit save, and then we're going to simulate the alarm going off. So we'll just hit run actions, run the automation, and your lights go red. That's all there is to it. So in Paul's case, you would add all of the lights in the house to this particular scene, make them all red or whatever colors or flashing, strobing, whatever effects you want, and hit save. And whenever the alarm goes off, you just trigger that scene. Simple automation. So now we're going to be tackling the second problem that he brought up, and that was using the echoes to speak to him. So let's hop over and we'll take a look at that. All right, so over here I'm basically just starting with a bare bones Home Assistant instance. I've just gone through and updated it to the latest version and kind of gone through the initial configuration and just kind of left it at that. So this is basically starting from scratch. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to jump into the super nerdy technical side of things and get that SSH add-in installed and use it to install hacks. From there on out, everything's clear sailing, super easy to do. This is the only part that's slightly complicated, and even that, it's super easy. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to go over to our profile, and you're just going to have to make sure that advanced mode is turned on, because if it is not turned on, the SSH add-on is not going to show up. It's going to be hidden. So now we go over to configuration and add-ons backup and supervisor, and we're going to click on the add-in store. In here, just search for SSH. You can pick either one of these. I prefer this bottom one here. This does, if you are going to use this for some additional advanced functionality, it does allow you to hop into the different containers installed within Home Assistant, jump into the different add-ons and whatnot. But for what we're doing today, you can pick either one. We're literally just copy and pasting. So we're going to click on it and just click install. Wait a few seconds and it should be ready to go. All right, it's installed and ready to go. So all we have to do now is go over to the configuration tab up here, and we just got to put in a password. So we can do something super lengthy and complex, or we can just do password 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're just going to hit save, go back over to the info and hit start. We'll give this a few seconds to get started up. If you get this 502 bad gateway, that just means that it hasn't started up yet. So just wait a few seconds, refresh it, and you should be good to go. So from here, we are just going to go over to, I'll jump over to the hacks download page. And the instructions are to basically just copy and paste this line into the terminal. However, as it says down here, even in the troubleshooting guide, there are some issues with using this URL. I think it's a redirect or something that just does not play nice with the terminal sometimes. So we're going to use this URL instead. Now I have it copied into my notepad over here. I'll just grab it, Control C. Go over here to the terminal, and depending on the terminal you chose, it might be Control V for paste, it might be Control Shift V, or in this case it is Shift Insert is how you paste on a Linux command line. So you're just going to paste that in and hit enter. That's basically all there is to it. You just installed Hax. Only thing to note down here at the bottom, just make sure you restart Home Assistant. So that's what we're going to do now. So we're going to hit Configuration, Settings, and Restart. Wait a few seconds for it to restart, and then we'll take it from there. All right, and we are back. So now we just have to go over to Configuration one more time, up to Devices and Services, and it's going to find all the things that it discovered on your network. We're just going to go add an integration, and we're going to type in Hax. Just simply click on it, check these checkboxes, just agree to these simple little terms, hit submit, and then follow the link here to basically copy and paste this code here into GitHub to authorize it. Then we're just going to hit continue, authorize it, and that's all there is to it. Hax is now installed, up and running. We can close all that other stuff out, and you'll see Hax is installed over here on the left hand side. If we refresh the page, the icon should show up as well. And now we're good to go. Okay, now that Hax is installed and configured, now all we have to do is go over here to the integrations page. The front end section, for those who are curious, is where you can find things like themes and custom Loveless cards that you can use for your dashboards. But for integrations for actual device types and things like that, we're going to be looking at the integration section. So we'll go ahead and click on that, explore and download repositories, and search for the one we want. So there it is. We're just going to download this repository. It's going to go to the most recent version. So we're going to hit that and download. Just verify if you wanted to. So we'll download it. It'll be down here at the bottom. And since this is a new installation, I am going to need to restart Home Assistant before it will take effect. So we're just going to restart Home Assistant again. Give it a few seconds. All right, and we're back. So now we're going to go back to configuration one more time, devices and services. We're going to hit add new integration, and we are going to search once again here for the Alexa Media Player integration. So go ahead and click that. It'll get itself set up and ready for you, install everything, take care of everything for you. And then once it's done, it's just going to ask you to go ahead and log in. All right, so now I'm going to put in my Amazon information. Let's see, I'm going to also turn on the login proxy method. So this will open up a new page where I'm going to log into Amazon. I'm going to get out my phone because I'm going to get a text message with the code. Sign in. And that's about all there is to it. So now you can see all of my Echo devices have been pulled into Home Assistant. And from here, it's just a simple matter of using them in automations. So I'm going to go ahead and create an automation for you now. So we'll go create a new automation. We'll start with an empty one. And we'll just call this one test TTS. And for this, you can make the trigger absolutely anything you want. You can make this when the alarm goes off or whatever you want it to be. I'm just going to make it, I don't know, just pick an entity that I have in here. From off to on. I'll trigger this manually for this test because I haven't pulled any other devices into this instance yet. But just know that basically any trigger you have can turn this on or off. So now for the action, I'm going to go to call service. And for the TTS one, it is the notify.alexa media service. So for the message, you're basically just going to type what you want your Echo device to say. If it is a device with a screen, you can put a title on it. If not, you can leave that part blank. And then the target is just going to be the device that you want to have speak. So in this case, it'll be media player dot office echo. And for data, type TTS. And that's all there is to it. Now if I hit run actions.
This was easy, Paul.
There we go. Just had our Echo device TTS directly from Home Assistant without using any YAML configuration files, anything like that. Another one that I have for you is calling a routine. So this one is going to use a slightly different service. Same idea though. So this service is going to be the media player .play media service. So once again, I'm going to choose the entity. So I'll choose my Office Echo. Content ID is going to be the name of the automation that you've created. So I have one called Sound Machine On. And then the content type is going to be routine. So once again, save it, run it, and now this should start playing white noise. Well, there we go. Pretty easy. So hopefully this video has taught you a thing or two, and now you can a little bit easier run those Amazon routines and have your Echo devices speak to you without having to worry about any YAML file configuration editing or anything like that. If this video was helpful to you, we would appreciate it if you drop a like and please subscribe for more content like this. And thank you until next time. Goodbye.